The modern pharmaceutical industry is a machine fueled by paradox. It speaks in the language of healing while operating in the currency of sickness, presenting itself as the guardian of health while ensuring that true well-being remains just out of reach. What began as the pursuit of cures has transformed into an industry designed not to eliminate disease, but to manage it indefinitely, to transform the very notion of health into a product sold in monthly prescriptions, measured in profit margins, and justified through carefully constructed illusions. At the heart of this system is a shift so fundamental that it has reshaped the way people think about illness itself. Medicine was once about curing, eradicating disease, restoring balance, and freeing individuals from the constraints of suffering. But a cured patient is a lost customer. A person who no longer needs medication ceases to be profitable. And so treatment took precedence over healing, and symptom management became more valuable than resolution. Chronic conditions, both physical and psychological, became the foundation of a business model that thrives on continued dependency. Diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune disorders, all framed as life sentences requiring lifelong pharmaceutical intervention. Depression, anxiety, and stress, less signals of a life out of balance than conditions to be dulled, their deeper causes left unexplored. Every ailment a gateway to another prescription, every treatment a step toward another pill to counteract its side effects. The industry ensures that each solution contains the seeds of further need, an endless cycle of consumption where relief is temporary, but reliance is permanent. This dependence does not stop at the individual. Over time, the reach of pharmaceuticals extends beyond the body and into the very fabric of society. What was once a cultural understanding of struggle, resilience, and transformation becomes redefined by the promise of immediate relief. Emotional pain, grief, exhaustion, these are no longer seen as natural responses to life's burdens, no longer invitations to change or signals to reassess the world around us. Instead, they become problems to be corrected, chemical deficiencies to be balanced, disturbances to be muted. A world where every form of discomfort has a pharmaceutical solution is a world where suffering is not examined, only suppressed. And in that suppression, something crucial is lost. When anxiety is numbed before it can prompt action, when sadness is dulled before it can reveal its cause, when exhaustion is medicated before its roots are understood, the individual is left without the very signals that guide them toward necessary transformation. The forces that create suffering, economic strain, social alienation, systemic injustice remain untouched, their consequences medicated away rather than confronted. And yet this system is not merely an accident of capitalism, nor the fault of a few corrupt institutions. It is a reflection of a society that has come to see discomfort as an error to be corrected rather than an experience to be understood. The pharmaceutical industry thrives because it provides an easy answer to a difficult question. What do we do with our suffering? It tells us that we need not ask, that the cause is irrelevant, that relief is as simple as a prescription. It offers convenience over confrontation, sedation over self-examination. This is why reform alone is not enough. It is not enough to adjust regulations, to demand stricter oversight, to hold corporations accountable for the harm they have done. The deeper problem is not simply in how drugs are produced or prescribed, but in how people have been conditioned to view their own pain. True change requires an unlearning of the belief that every struggle is a disorder, that every hardship is a malfunction, that every form of distress is something to be chemically erased. It demands that people reclaim their suffering, not as something to be feared, but as something to be listened to. Healing, real healing, is not about endless treatment. It is not about numbing the symptoms of a deeper sickness while leaving its roots intact. Healing requires discomfort. It requires struggle. It requires the willingness to feel fully, to face what is broken, to resist the seduction of easy solutions. And in a world where the pharmaceutical industry profits from compliance, where sickness is a business model, and where relief is sold at the cost of resilience, the most radical act of all is to refuse to be numbed.